This week, I'll share a couple of hunts from the crabapple food plot. These hunts resulted in lots of fresh venison and a great set of antlers. Lots of venison down, buck tag punch, doe tag punch. I got a couple more doe tags. Can you tell I'm happy? Because I'm happy, folks. I'll also share the plan that made crabapple a great hunting location. You know, just a lot of things went into this hunt. It just didn't happen at once. Crabapple is an 8-acre food plot here at the Proving Grounds that serves as a feeding destination for deer. There are also many terrain features around crabapple that make it a great travel corridor for bucks during the rut. As part of our plan, last spring we planted Eagle Seeds forage soybeans in crabapple. The beans grew great and provided lots of quality forage. During the late summer, Tyler used a Genesis drill to plant Eagle's Fall Buffalo blend into the standing beans. Even after drilling through the beans, about half of them stood back up and made a great yield of pods. This created a great attraction and a very nutritious food source for deer. Lush green forage growing under standing pods. During warm days, deer tend to feed on the green forage, but when it's colder, they prefer those energy-rich soybean pods. We've had many great hunts at crabapple throughout the years.
I sure am proud you let me hunt down there, son.
Because it's such a great hunting location, I didn't wish to limit our opportunities to one wind direction. There's a redneck at the south end of the plot, which is great for when there's a north wind. As we learned how many deer were using this plot, we decided to add a second redneck blind. We placed it in the northeast corner so we could hunt during the south and west wind. That turned out to be a good strategy, as my oldest daughter, Raleigh, was hunting from that blind 2 seasons ago and tagged a nice buck and a doe opening morning. This year, Raleigh was able to return from college and hunt during the second morning of Missouri's firearm season.
Well, it's Sunday on the opening weekend of gun season, and I got the chance to come home. Haven't been able to hunt a lot this semester, so I'm really hoping something comes out this morning. It's not super cold, but that means it's a little more pleasant in the blind, but we'll see what starts moving today.
The conditions were right for Raleigh and Daniel to return to that same blind in the northeast corner of Crabapple Plot.
There's another one behind her. Okay, ready? Yeah.
My family and I have been using Deer Season XP ammo for several seasons. We know how accurate it is, so Raleigh and Daniel were confident that trail job would be very short.
So we've been out here since before sunrise. We saw some deer moving early, and then the sky just lit up bright pink and it was gorgeous. And then we looked over and 2 does stepped out. I'm not here for super long, and I have 2 doe tags, so put my sights on one and pulled the trigger. It got super quiet after we shot that doe, so we decided to climb down. Now we're gonna go try to recover it. She's got a pretty good trail. There's a lot of blood. Well, not like a huge amount, but it's a really easy trail to follow, so surely she couldn't have gone too far. So we're gonna load her up, take her back, maybe get her processed, and put some meat in the freezer for Miss Tracy, AKA my mother, to cook a little later.
After hearing about Raleigh's hunt and the does feeding on the beans, I decided that'd be a great location, as a buck might be cruising through looking for a receptive doe or to grab a bite of beans.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Reconics, Eagle Seed, Winchester, Lacrosse Footwear, Morel Targets, Bog, Hooks Custom Calls, Montana Decoy, Summit Tree Stands, Drake Non-Typical Clothing, RTP Outdoors, Yamaha, Fourth Arrow, Onyx Hunt, Scent Crusher, Scorpion Venom Archery, Blood Sport Arrows, Code Blue, Decode, G5 broadheads, prime bows, and redneck hunting blinds.
It is the third morning of Missouri's firearm season, and I've had a good season so far. I've tagged several does, but I haven't seen a buck I wanted to tag. I'm excited about this morning. Any buck on the property could step out in this plot because it's kind of centrally located. Got a southwest wind this morning, which is coming this way. We've got a hot zone fence right here. It's still up, full of bean pods. We're saving that for bow hunting the late season. But our scent, if we have any coming out here, is going over the fence and then down to the plot. So it's just a perfect morning to spend some time in the crabapple food plot.
Light was just breaking over the mountain when we saw a set of antlers.
Oh, I see him.
The buck was doing exactly what we anticipated. He was cruising the area, looking for receptive does, and working a lower elevation while the thermals were falling off the mountain. That's a very effective way for bucks to cover a lot of area using their nose to pick up the scent of a receptive doe. This hunt was off to a great start. As the sun came over the mountain, it brought light and warmth to the valley.
I was hoping they'd come feed after the sun started melting the frost off. Yeah. It's that buck. It's that same buck from earlier. It's which one? It's the same one from earlier. It's a nice deer. I'm not giving him a pass. It's a very nice deer. When I laid out this plot many, many years ago, it wasn't just, boy, there's a place to put a food plot, but there's a ditch or ravine coming through it, which is a travel corridor. There's rubs and scrapes, and then another valley comes in right where we've seen a couple bucks go over there, and another creek over here. So just lots of reasons for deer to be traveling through here, in addition to the food source. When you're laying out food plots, don't just find a piece of land to do it, but think about why deer want to be there and how you can approach hunting exit. Think about why you're hunting there, how deer are going to approach that area.
Clay and I enjoyed the morning, but didn't see any more deer. Based on our observations, it seemed that bucks were cruising the area looking for receptive does. The forecast called for a southwest wind again that afternoon, so Clay and I decided to return to the same blind.
It is the third afternoon of Missouri's firearm season. We were just getting set up. Right behind Clay, right behind the camera, about 100 yards, is a 4-pointer right now. So we're hoping to be some good deer movement. One of the bucks I'm looking for will come by this afternoon.
A small front passed, bringing a shower, and Clay and I were happy we were dry in the redneck blind. But I was probably happier thinking that right after that shower, there'd be a lot of deer activity. It wasn't long until we spotted a doe in the south end of the plot.
There's a doe right there. Yeah, that's a doe. They might know. She looked like she was breathing pretty good. Oh goodness, there's gonna be something behind her. She's running.
This doe's behavior and posture indicated there was a buck nearby, probably in the timber just up the mountain.
Did she go back to town? Yeah, she did. Just be watching in the tree. Yes, I'm looking. You be looking.
After a while, I decided to use my messenger grunt call. If a buck was on the mountain, he would hear the messenger, which makes the sound of an immature buck tending a doe. And that sound might be just a ticket to pull that buck off the mountain and out into the open.
Oh, there's a deer right above. Come on. Buck in front of us. Buck behind the doe. side's he gonna come out? On the left side, in the corner. He's stepping out. I don't see him. He's standing there. He's getting ready to come out in that corner. There he is. I see him. Stop. Tell me before you shoot. Okay. Now wait. You're gonna have to wait till he gets past. I'm gonna. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Good shot. Buck down. Down right there.
Oh, hold on. Let's get this doe. Let's get this doe up here. Yeah. You ready? Yeah.
How about that?
That's venison right there. Man, it's two for
How about that?
two for Monday. Man, we had action in here this morning and better action this afternoon. We'd seen a doe come out way down there and a yearling buck come out earlier, and then been a little bit, it's real calm, little light rain, really light rain passed through. And then we both heard something in the leaves, so we couldn't tell exactly where. Thought we heard a grunt. Looking, because there's a lot of edge around here. We thought it was up here. And then finally a doe steps out up here in the corner and a buck behind her. Good buck, big shouldered buck, good buck, super proud. And I'm putting my hearing on because it's important to me to protect my hearing. And he's coming down. I thought he's going to come on down and work this grate. And he cuts in. Can't see him. I'm confident he's going to come out of here. So I moved the field pot over here. Cuts through the ditch, gets behind some sycamores till he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, I got several yards on either side. I'll be able to make it work. And he gets on down there in the beans, slows down just a little bit, able to make a good shot, start celebrating. And I realize I got more doe tags. The doe he was after was up here. Easy to identify when there's a good buck after her. So she's feeding on some beans up here, took a step or two, got squared away. Another one down. Lots of venison down. Buck tag punch, doe tag punch. I got a couple more doe tags. Can you tell I'm happy? Because I'm happy, folks. Man, I think we need to get down and look at that buck before it gets dark.
Get some hands on.
Hands on, man. I may jump across that ditch right now. I got to tell you, man, I love deer hunting. I mean, I just love it. And Clay, I tell you, I still get excited about it. I'm pumped, Clay.
I am too, Grant. That is awesome. That is awesome.
That's a good hunt there.
That's a really fun hunt.
As we were gathering up our gear and getting ready to go look at the buck, we heard a shot up on Cave Ridge, and that's where Daniel was hunting. Daniel is normally extremely calm, and I've heard him hollers of joy, so we're gonna head on up there and help them and return to this buck. I can't wait to see what Daniel took down. After sharing all the excitement of hearing about Daniel's hunt and checking out the bruiser he tagged, we all came back down the mountain to check out the buck I'd shot.
Oh yeah, Grant. Shining Clay.
Oh yeah, Grant. Yes.
A 9, big 9.
Yeah. That is a great deer. Oh yeah.
Look at that big forehead on there.
Oh yeah.
Man, yeah.
That is a cool deer, Grant. Awesome.
Man, yeah. Hey, I saw this big old shoulder, like you were talking about. Stepped out up there, knew it was go time. This is what hunting is all about, enjoying the excitement and memories with friends, enjoying all the work and strategy that went into creating good hunting locations, and of course, all the venison that will provide many meals for the Growing Deer team this winter. Made it work. We kind of started celebrating a little bit, to be honest, and then I thought, I got doe tag.
Where'd that doe go?
Swung through the window, went to the different window in the redneck, and she was there feeding. That was a bad thing, man.
Last meal.
Just an incredible afternoon.
That's awesome.
You can smell him a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
and you can feel his backbone. He's been running. You know, here we are getting pretty late November.
Yeah.
They've been running, but
Lost weight.
he's lost weight, but he's still solid. Man, that was fun.
Oh, I bet.
And I got a bow tag still, so I get to go. You're out, buddy. You're on dope, Tro.
Oh, hey, I'm
When
out
gun
here.
season's over, I get to go back out there and climb trees with my
Out
bow.
in the cold.
Out in the cold.
The late season.
The late season. You know, I actually like the late season for one reason. We have really good habitat. Our doe fawns are 65, 70 pounds. They're gonna come receptive before season's over.
Yeah.
And unlike mature does are a little more cagey, they just pour in the food plots and draw all these mature bucks in there. The late season could be awesome hunting. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thanks to everybody for helping. Because just think now, Tyler planted these fields, and over a decade ago I laid it out, and we all worked to assemble the redneck blind, and you know, just a lot of things went into this hunt. It just didn't happen at once. The hunts from Crabapple have several good lessons that can be applied to where you hunt. First, being prepared with multiple blind or stand locations in an area you think there'll be lots of deer activity allows you to hunt during multiple wind directions. Second, creating a food source that has a diversity of species such as eagle seed soybeans and fall buffalo blend not only provides great nutrition for deer, but it's also an outstanding hunting location. Third, once again, the messenger grunt call played a big role in my success. I used it to imitate the sound of an immature buck tending a receptive doe, and that appears to be what pulled the buck out of the timber. Missouri's deer firearm season has closed, and that means it's time to get our bows back out and start setting traps. This time of year, it's important for us to work on balancing the number of predators with the amount of prey at the proving grounds. We've been seeing a lot of coyotes in the Reconyx videos, and we certainly need to reduce that population. Toward that goal, we just set several Duke traps. Every year, I receive a lot of questions asking which model trap we're using. This year, I'm using Duke's new Pro Series 550 trap. Duke is offering Growing Deer viewers a special on this trap. And if you plan to trap some coyotes or got some buddies that are trapping coyotes, simply reach out to Duke and tell them you're a Growing Deer viewer. Next week, we'll share a hunt from Growing Deer Pro staffer Jeff Thorell as he tags another dandy buck on his 9 acres in Kansas. And of course, we'll be sharing tips and techniques about trapping throughout the season. If you know someone that would benefit from the habitat management, hunting techniques, or trapping techniques we share at Growing Deer, please encourage them to subscribe to our channel. And if you enjoyed this information, please give us a thumbs up. Whether you have plenty of venison in the freezer or you're still out hunting, remember to take time and enjoy creation. But most importantly, make time every day to be quiet and listen to what the Creator is saying to you. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.